What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're doing well today. Today we're going to be doing the disassembly and maintenance of the Civivi Elemetum II button lock. Really enjoying this one a lot. I wanted to go ahead and just take an opportunity to break it down for anyone that might be interested in the disassembly, which will help with the skiffs. These should be the 5mm by 1/16 bearings, or wait, yeah, 1/16. That should go in here. So if you're interested in putting skiffs in here, you can, but honestly the action on these are so phenomenal, you probably really don't need it. What I recommend doing though is going ahead and taking the pocket clip out first, because the spring is behind, and these are T6 by the way, but because the spring is behind this scale, you're going to want the scale to lift up freely. I recommend using Weeha bits. I have those linked down in the description if you need a set. I also recommend the Weeha stubby bit driver if you need a driver, or if you're looking for something a little bit nicer or fancy, you can get the Scout Tools bearing driver or the CRKT internal storage tool that also comes with the Weeha bits, comes with a T8 and a T6, and it is made by Scout Tools. They're not a sponsor. I just really like Scout Tools quality and I like their design philosophy. Once you use T6 to get rid of the pocket clip, you can go ahead and take off the furthest standoff. That's going to be a T8. Go ahead, and if you don't have a mat, this mat is really affordable. I think it's like $8 to $13. I don't know with inflation where it's at now, but it has these pockets and little magnets to hold your hardware and everything to the side. I would go ahead and then at this point hold your pivot in so that it's not spinning, so that little detent nub in there is holding it in place. Back this out. There you go. Set that to the side. Now you can set the whole knife down. The other thing I like about this mat is you can lay the scale down on it so that the push button is in this little groove here without sliding out, which is a nice feature for the button locks that are out there today. Go ahead and remove your last body screw out that is holding the scale on and in place. This does relieve a little bit of tension too when you're trying to take it apart. That keeps the spring from wanting to completely come out. Once you have the screw out, which is a little harder to do with the rubber gloves, go ahead and easily remove the tension here, and you'll feel the spring kind of like shifting around, but that just keeps the spring in place so that it's really easy to get to. So no hidden hardware here. You see there's no additional screws. They put a little bit of oil here around the pivot, which is nice, but you can go ahead at this point, disassemble, and you can see here it already is starting to wear in a track, which is nice. You notice that the bearings are facing out, smooth side out. You can go ahead and remove the knife and set that to the side. Be really careful. I was squeezing too hard last week and the blade went right through the glove. I was not thinking at all. From here, you really can just take all the parts out, and oh, this one here is, oh, they changed how they're doing this a little bit. Oh no, they didn't, sorry. I was like, wait, the button actually is like integrated into the but it wasn't. It was just me, sorry. Now with everything out of the way, you can go ahead. I recommend cleaning with a little bit of rubbing alcohol just to make sure that any of the factory grease is removed. And you can start with spraying it onto the cloth, because it'll stay on there for a little while, so you'll be able to get a multitude of items cleaned off. Make sure you're not holding the blade in any way that is going to get to your hands or fingers. So we'll go ahead and, oh, I thought that was a spot, but that's where the Nitro V is written. I was like, what is that spot already on the knife? And clean out the track and the machining. And we'll clean in here as well, and that should be all you need to clean with the knife. You can go ahead, clean the stop pin off a little bit, and then if you are replacing the bearings, keep in mind that the steel liners already have a track worn in. What you can do is grab your Scout tool to verify that it is 5mm, which is right here. So take your pivot 5mm and then take your bearings to verify that they are the 1/16, and you should put them in halfway, and then if you don't have any wiggle room side to side, then you know that they're 1/16. 2 millimeter is going to be too much space. 3/64, actually 3/64, oh, hold the phone. Do we have 5 millimeter by 1 millimeter? No, that's too tight. So that means that the 5 by 1 is going to be too small. And 5 by 3/64, I don't even think I have that if I wanted to. Because the 5 millimeter, yeah, this is the one on my high fin. The 5 millimeter is 1/16. So the 5 by 1/16 is going to be too thick. You would need 5 by 3/64, and even then it's a little wiggle room. So it should work though, because it's the same amount of wiggle room that I find that the 3/16 have, just a little bit of play depending on how the bearings land. So if you need skiffs, you need 5 by 3/64. I have no idea if they make them. I haven't been on the site in a little while. Let me check to see what I have, to see if I have anything like that. 5 1/16, that's 3/16, which is wrong. 6 millimeter, which is wrong. 5 by 1 millimeter, which is too small. So I don't even have that size, so we would not be able to install the skiffs even if we wanted to today. Gonna go ahead and finish cleaning everything off to make sure that there's no dirt, grime. I want this to be silky smooth when I reinstall it. One thing that I've noticed on the last few button lock knives that I've had from Civivi Syncut is I've noticed that the inside of their buttons are very highly polished. They are looking really good. They're doing a super good job with their button locks here as of late. They've really refined the process, and with it not having any lock stick, I really do love seeing that. Something else that's new that I've seen here is they have this little dimple here. I didn't see that on the original Elementum, so that's nice for the scales to have something to latch onto here. I am going to go ahead and use that rubbing alcohol to clean off the excess oil on the scale, but I am going to put my own lube back on there as well. All right, now, I don't think I cleaned the scale. Hold on. 1 second. I don't think I cleaned it. Yeah, now I think it's clean. Okay, now with it clean, now we can start to lube everything. Let's go ahead and take the stop pin, and I'm gonna hit it with just a little lube to help keep it in place. There it goes. I was like, if the lube will come out. So we'll go ahead and put it in that dimple there. That does go down into the G10 as well. Again, I do like to see that because it helps keep that stop pin nice and secure. What we'll go ahead and do next, making sure that we have the smooth side of the washer facing the blade like it did when it came out. We'll go ahead and lube this sucker up nice and good and drop that down on there. This should really smooth out the action. Not that it was bad, it was breaking in nicely. As you can see, it had a good track wearing. Be very careful with the knife. Make sure that you're not having the blade or squeezing it this way, because it'll go right through your glove and your skin. So just be really careful with that. I can't express that enough. I still have my finger in the Band-Aid from the O-spray where I was not paying attention to how I was holding the knife, and I squeezed it tight with the wrong finger, and it bit me. It claimed its owner. Now that that's nice and lubed, go ahead and drop that in. I recommend just, clean off the oil on your hands so you don't, nothing slipping and falling out. Oops. Go ahead and reinstall the button lock. You will have to lift the blade up a little bit to wiggle it in, and then once it's in there, you can drop the knife back down and you should be good to go. Go ahead, I would at this point, because this is the side that goes to the track, I would again, just where the liner was hitting, it looked like they had just a little bit of oil, not too much, nothing crazy, and then I would also just drop a couple in there on top of the spring so it has some lube, but not enough to where it's going to cause it to slip out of it's cut out. You can go ahead and drop your spring back in place, and then now you want to be ready to reinstall everything. So I'm going to slide the button back over top of the little groove in my mat. I'm going to make sure that it sits nicely on the spring, and then we'll go ahead and drop the scale back down into place. Go ahead and grab your pivot, your T8, and I would reinstall this screw first. Just take it down all the way until it stops spinning, which is just enough seating to keep it from moving, and then go ahead and install one of the 2 pivot screws before you lift the knife up. Same thing here. There we go, snug fit. Last body screw is going to go on. We'll check the centering, blade play, action, and everything before we install the pocket clip, just in case we need to make any adjustments to centering. I will say that I have found, like with the solid steel liners on Civivi knives, the bearings are so well made and everything, tolerances are so good. Yeah, it probably needs to be backed out a little bit, but they go back center so easily. Let me check the play first. No, maybe. Nope, it's good. It's good. It's good. It actually can go a little bit more snug. Let me see. That might be too much. Yeah, that's too much. A little too much. A little too much. A little too much strength. There we go. I felt it just move. Perfect. Oh, maybe a little bit more. Yep, just a touch more. Just a touch more. It's starting to go in the right direction. Alright, that moved a little bit again. That feels nice. No play. Oh, it's still riding against the button lock a little bit. Hold on. Oh, yeah. We got it there. We got it there. We just need the oil to circulate a little bit more. Nice and centered. No blade play. Yeah. It'll break in some more, and the lube will sit in some more. Let's go ahead and install the pocket clip with our T6s. Okay, that feels good. Yep, that feels good. Yep, everything looks good, nice and centered. And yep, action feels good on it. So that is your disassembly and maintenance. And again, the bearings, if you can find them, are going to be 5mm by 3/64. The 1/16 is too thick. If this video helped you, do me a favor, leave a like, and if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you follow along as I continue to bring the content. A special thanks to everyone out there that regularly watches, likes, and leaves the comments. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you have a fantastic week, and until next time, peace.